In many ways, I led an idyllic childhood. Grandparents, aunts, and cousins lived within 2 miles of our home. In the summer, I played baseball in my grandparents' yard, barefooted, where long balls landed among the furrowed rows in the garden. In autumn, I gathered pecans, which our family valued as gold, as they fell from a tree whose limbs dangled over a sleepy side street, my daddy sailing a football high in its branches to knock them loose. Winter meant the gritty sweetness of grandmother's snow ice cream if we were lucky enough to get it. The snow, that is. The spring brought softball season, a family affair. My daddy and Pappy coached my team, while my mother, who didn't have an athletic bone in her body, kept an immaculate scorebook. My life was filled with family, and family is good. I didn't realize how quirky my mother was until after she was gone. She was my mother, after all, the only one I'd known. A lover of pastel colors, spun glass pianos, and made in occupied Japan china figurines, she was as fragile and feminine as the delicate things she collected, and yet she disdained women's things. She thought we acted silly at wedding and baby showers and had no desire to play foolish games. She preferred to talk theology or politics. Mother was a rabid Braves fan and kept score in an actual scorebook, just like during my ball games as a kid, to stay calm during stressful games. A few months before she passed away, she told my aunt that she had never made a pie or a cake, and she was proud of it. I don't know how anyone, man or woman, lives to be 58 years old without making a pie or a cake, but she managed. That certainly didn't mean she didn't have a sweet tooth, though, because if you are what you eat, my mother was a little Debbie. I don't remember having an attitude about my mother. In my mind, my parents were always pretty cool, but I must have given her grief as a teen. As the mother of 4 daughters, 2 in their teens, I know my own girls think that I'm clueless and out of touch. But by the time I reached adulthood, my mother became my best friend. My girlfriends watched each other's kids during pediatrician appointments and prenatal visits, and their friendships strengthened based on a system of mutual reliance. But I had my mother, and ours was the friendship that bloomed. Her health was poor, which limited her activities, but we did things together, and we talked on the phone every day. She watched out for me in our dead-broke early married days, and I made sure that she didn't overexert herself. She used to say, "Don't try to be something that you're not." When she said it to me, it meant not getting sucked into doing something that I couldn't afford to do just because everybody else was doing it. But for her, it meant not trying to be what she called a healthy person, not putting herself in situations that she couldn't physically handle, like walking through a mall or going somewhere with stairs. I didn't realize that one of the most important lessons my sister and I would learn from my mother even was one until years after the fact, the lesson of more can be bought. "She marked on my Barbie doll," I yelled. My sister never drew on her own. "More can be bought," my mother replied. "What happened to the last Snickers bar?" More can be bought. We hotly filed our grievances, petitioning the judge, our mother, but she responded with a calm and factual answer. More can be bought. I mistakenly assumed that meant more will be bought. But that didn't always happen, which I found frustrating at the time. It wasn't until I became an adult with children of my own that I realized what more can be bought really means. It refers to things that are easily replaceable, with a piddling effort, a trip to the store. Dolls and candy bars can be bought, but you can't buy your health. You can't buy back unkind words once spoken. More can be bought doesn't cover the hard things. My mother's been gone for 11 years now, and although I don't use her line on my own children, it's a lens through which I live. Anything that's easily replaceable doesn't deserve my worry, because more can be bought.